What's going on, family? How you doing? Welcome to the Culture Code. Let me go ahead and introduce the crew. We got Mr. Trev Smooth and White is in the house. Willie, Trevon, Big Aaron, Fresh Maker, Pink to me, myself, Lapeef JR. How you gentlemen doing? How y'all doing?
Good, good.
Doing well,
Thanks for
doing
having me.
well.
Good fellas.
No complaints.
Good, man. Good to see y'all, man.
Yes, sir.
See what we got going on here. As you guys come in, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you catch us on replay, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe as well. Got an excellent show here for you guys. The main topic tonight is society does not trust single men, followed by the flexes having one woman, housewives divorced the most, and big weddings are a red flag. So that's what we're going to get into tonight. Again, as you guys come in, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe. Y'all ready for this show?
Born ready.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, let me go ahead and run this first clip. Society does not trust single men. Let's listen and go ahead and get into it.
That we haven't had an unmarried person get elected for president in almost 200 years, and almost 90% of Fortune 500 CEOs are married, and most mayors and governors are married too. It's because society largely does not trust single people in positions of power. And of course, there are exceptions, but exceptions does not disprove the rule. The reason that most of society does not trust single people in positions of power is because people want to be led by people that are already leading other people. And there's nothing bigger or more important than being able to lead your own family. It's one of the reasons why most companies prefer their CEOs to be married. Most captains in sports teams are married. If you have an HOA in your community, it's more than likely that the person in charge of HOA is married. The manager or boss at your job is most likely married. Now, some people will say that's a control tactic, because if you have a family, you're probably easier to control because you have people dependent on you. And that may be true in some instances. But in most situations, the reason they prefer you not to be single is because they want to know you have the ability to think outside of yourself. They want to know if you're capable envisioning things as a unit. Because let's be honest, if you're single, especially if you're single and childless, you'll probably struggle with seeing things outside of your own perspective because you never had to consistently think outside of yourself. And you're probably going to be more risky. You're probably going to be dating, which means your attention is a lot more scattered. Most importantly, people won't know if you have the same vested interest in the future. No one cares about the future and the betterment of society in the future than a parent, because they know that their children are going to have to live with and deal with the decisions that they made right now. When you don't have children, it's hard for people to truly gauge if you have that same vested interest in seeing a well-being in the future. Another reason why society doesn't trust single people is because single people typically do not have a lot to lose. Most people with common sense are not going to follow after someone who doesn't have a lot at stake. People believe, whether it's right or wrong, people believe that if you can lead your own family successfully, that it shows that I can trust you. And this transcends every field and career, from the military to corporate to business to politics. The higher the status, position, or rank, the more likely that that person is going to be married. So it's important to keep this in mind. This is not a video of me suggesting or telling people to get married, because getting married is one of the most unselfish acts that you can ever do. And in this current climate, I don't know if people actually should get married because I don't think most people are ready to do that. But the reason this is important, because if you're a person with big goals, dreams, and ambitions, and you want to get to the top of the tops, this is something you're going to need to definitely think about. I'm not saying this is easy, because finding the right person that's worth marrying is definitely hard in these times. But marriage is not only a benefit to your family, but it's also a benefit to you as a business person and a leader.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Society does not trust single men. Society does not trust single men. How you feeling about what he said, man? Y'all agree? Y'all think it's advantage for people to be married? Y'all think the single folks are missing out on these opportunities because of it? Let's go ahead and get into it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. I agree with the philosophy overall. I think to say society distrusts or does not trust single men, I think is a little bit of slightly hyperbolic. I just think that married men are easier to trust, or people are more willing to trust and trust more because there's evidence that they are capable of commitment and leadership. Sure. So, I mean, the foundation of what he's saying is true, but I wouldn't just write off single men as untrustworthy, right?
Go ahead. Who was that talking? Okay. Go ahead, Mont. What do you think? Society does not trust single men. I can't hear you. You might gotta go back out and come back in the stream. Go ahead, Trev.
I mean, I get it, what he's saying, but I mean, historically, it's a little bit different. Like right now, how society is probably, but if you look at like Marcus Aurelius, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Alexander the Great, these guys, you know, they led successfully. So it kind of proves the theory of him actually a person having to be married and still be able to lead. I think that's fine. You don't have to be married per se. Do people trust it? He might be kind of right on that. I think that there are people who believe in his philosophy. I just find it to be false because if a person is responsible, they're responsible. It doesn't take a responsible person to uh, to be married. Like I think that more men are not getting married as a result of them being responsible, like being that what the market is actually offering right now, and there's not enough good women to marry the men. It is what it is. So at this point in time, I can't say that his theory is consistent even in present day, or especially in present day.
Go ahead, Fresh Maker.
I wouldn't look at it from a different angle. I agree with Aaron that you would probably just trust a married person more as they have more to lose. But also, a lot of ascension has to do with network. And if folks in that particular network are already married and have families, odds are, in order for you to be able to do some things outside of work with them, they're probably going to be doing things that entail having wives and children. And in order for you to be able to rub elbows like that, you probably would be needing to live the same lifestyle. It's not an absolute that you would need to, but it definitely helps out because you have a common ground with folks that would be putting you into the next position. So
Go ahead, Mont.
Honestly, I think that I think what it is that society really doesn't. We say it's married people, but I think ultimately it's people who are good parents. I think that's really what if we could like really dissect it and see what um what it was about it that people trust more or make them distrust people. I think it's that they don't have kids and they're not invested in their future typically. But I think often the same feeling we have towards, but traditionally, you know how people were married before they had kids. So, you know, times were different. But I think the same feeling of trust we have towards married people, we have for people who are invested in having good children. So, for example, I think somebody would probably be more inclined to trust a man who they can see is invested in his children, and that's his main concern versus a married couple without children.
Go ahead, Trevon.
No, it's actually an interesting perspective that the gentleman brought up that I've honestly never thought of before. But I do agree a little bit with what everybody said so far. Um, I think it also depends on obviously the company that you're working with or that you're applying with, who you work for. But I think that at first glance, you're gonna get judged as an individual first. What kind of credentials you bring to the table, what you've done, all of those kind of things do matter. But people then do tend to look at, is this person in leadership roles? And sometimes that's part of that is you having a family, is you being able to lead somebody. If it's your wife, if it's your kids, those are things that they consider as well. And this is kind of interesting. I never really thought of things like that. So I thought that was an interesting perspective.
Trevon, you got kids?
I got one. I got an 8-year-old boy.
Okay. Do you think having a 8-year-old son has made you a better leader?
Absolutely. Um, being a little bit younger than I am now, before I had him, all my decision making, I wouldn't say changed drastically, but it is definitely tightened up. It's no longer about me. Everything that I do is directly tied to him.
Hmm.
So I definitely might think 2 or 3 times before I make any kind of decision.
Okay. Go ahead, Hank.
So the question was what again, JR?
I was just getting an immediate reaction to what the brother said on the video. And he also said society does not trust single men and explain why. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I could definitely understand why he would say something like that. Shit sound like my stuff is echoing. Is it echoing? I could definitely understand why he would have those feelings about that, because usually when you're single, you're usually willing to take more chances and more risks than you are when you are not single. Um, you're willing to step out a little bit more, because the only person you have to really worry about is yourself. And so most people could deal with struggling or financially struggling or maybe even mentally struggling more so when they're by themselves compared to when they have somebody else really depending on them and relying on them. Now you can't take those penitentiary type chances that you could do when you were single. So yeah, I could definitely agree with what you're saying.
Would you say that the men on these panels, the married men, do you think they get more respect than the single men?
Yeah. I mean, I think for the most part, because they be quick to throw that shit in your face, especially when you talk about, say, like relationship shit. They were quick. Well, how would you know you're not married? So people were quick to throw that shit in their face, saying something like that, or you're not in a long-term relationship. They would be quick to throw that shit in somebody's face just to question their credentials, and that may not even be the case, but they are quick to say something silly shit like that to them.
Let me ask you about yourself. Would you say that you look at people, at married men, differently? Do you get them a little bit more respect? Do they have a little bit more credibility when it comes to your personal life and people you work with?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't really hang out with single people. I don't. And when I wasn't married, and when I was going through divorce, I stopped hanging out with my friends as much because I wasn't married. And they like to do a lot of couple things, and so I didn't want to be like a third wheel in that situation. So I kind of backed off until I got married again, and then we started. I started coming around a lot more. But I was never a fan of hanging around single people.
Okay. So then, let me give you an example. Let's just say that you was one of your guys and had a happy marriage, like past 10 years, and then all of a sudden, he started like dipping out. Would you still keep him around? Would you cut him loose?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't hang out with him no more. Now, I'm not gonna completely just turn my back on him. I'll definitely make sure I have a conversation with him, especially if it's a guy who I consider a friend that I love and that I care about. I'm gonna definitely have a conversation with him, out of respect for our friendship. But if he's not willing to make an adjustment or do an audible and do something different, then I would probably have to cut him off.
So there's a difference between you guys because y'all got a relationship together versus somebody just being single that's not married.
As far as what?
Ask that again.
So the example I gave was that he was dipping out on his wife. So I'm assuming that the reason why you don't hang around single folks is because they do single things. So the married man would be essentially doing single things, even though he's married. So I asked, would you cut him off? And you said, well, I wouldn't cut him completely off. I would just, kind of keep my distance away from him. But because of y'all bonding, y'all a friendship, you just keep them at a distance. So I'm just kind of just trying to see like what's the difference really.
Now, what I would do is, like I said, I would have a conversation with him. I would talk to him and say, man, you probably don't want to be doing that and moving and operate like that, and speak from my experience. I said, it's not worth it at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And have that conversation with him. And, if he receives it, like I hope he would, then we can still run. We can still kick it. We can still hang. But like I said, if he's not willing to make them changes or them adjustments, I'm not going to deal with him no more like that.
Question. I'd like to know the reason that you wouldn't want to deal with him anymore. Is it because you think possibly, and I'm not going to try to answer the question for you. What is the reason that you're reasoning?
Because I don't like the way he's moving. And then you know what it is. It's like guilty by association. And so you don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So.
Gotcha.
I disagree with changing the dynamic of relationship based on your marital status. I mean, I had homies who got married before me, didn't expect them to change. They didn't. I had other homies who I got married before, didn't change. And I understand that there are certain situations where married couples do married things, but that ain't got nothing to do with me being cool with you or the dynamic of our relationship. If we cool, we cool. That status doesn't change based on what you're doing in your romantic life. I don't really see the connection between the two for me. Not to say it's bad and everyone has their own choice, but mine, I can't see it that way for me at all. I would never change. I treat people based on how it is that they treat me. Whatever other relationships that you have with anyone outside of that is what it is. And it has nothing to do with how me and you are going to interact with each other. If something that you were doing was spilling over into my lifestyle, then that's a different story. If you start trying to get me to cover for your indiscretions, then that's a different ball game. But if nothing that you're doing is compromising what I'm doing, I don't see the issue with it.
So you're in agreement with me then?
No. You said that hell no. That's not what you said. Y'all heard the same thing?
No, that was different.
That's what I said.
No,
what I heard Trev say was that he just because somebody else is doing something in their life doesn't mean that he'll necessarily cut them off. And what I heard Hank say was that because you don't like their lifestyle and because it could potentially be associated with you, that eventually you would cut ties with that person.
Same thing he said. He said if it affects him, you didn't.
You just said you didn't like his lifestyle. I said if it spilled over into what it is that I'm doing, but you just said in general, if a person's moving like that, you just don't like the way they're moving, so you would disassociate with them. And I wasn't even talking about that. That was the second part of it, but the first part of it was just you said that you limit hanging out with people who aren't married, and I guess that's a personal choice, and you absolutely have the right to do so. But I
don't like doing it. I mean, I'm not a fan of hanging out with single people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. But it sounded like you were saying thing. I was saying what you're saying, but you said if it spills over into your life, you will move away from them, right? Ain't that what you said, Trev?
Yeah. If it compromised what I was doing, absolutely. But the only way that it would do that is if I have to move differently because of you. And I've never seen a scenario where that's been the case, because I have most of the people in my circle, they do it. They be, they're faithful. But I know a few scumbags too that never hung up the jersey, and that's on them. Y'all deal with that. Just don't bring that shit on my side, and I don't really care.
So, like I said, you're going to be guilty by association. If the group knows that's how he moving, they assuming you're going to move the same way because you hanging out with him. You okay?
I'll still sleep at night.
I got you.
For me, the reason that I wouldn't disassociate with those individuals is because I've seen growth in my homies based on how I move. So like over the years, like I'm talking about my wildest homie, like personal trainer. Y'all know them personal trainer boys to just be going crazy, like right, like even like him over the years, like he used to even I used to kind of go out with him, but I'm not a drinker or nothing like that. So he invite me out occasionally. I go out, but I don't like going out. But he stopped going out. He stopped really drinking. Like he focused now. And I remember when we used to have talks, and he'd be like, "Yo, you mean you really not with dealing with no other women?" I'd be like, "Yeah." He like, "Yo, like stop playing. Like you serious?" I'd be like, "Yeah, right." Like, but over time, like with him, me having conversations with him, he just be like, whenever he just called me and be like, "Yo, bro, I ain't been with another woman in 6 months. Like it's been 6 months. I ain't been drinking. I ain't been doing this." So he would like update me and just tell me like, "Yo, like I'm different now." And like now, even right now, when he talks to me about his relationship, he be like, "Bro, like we having these problems," and it's like, "Yo, I ain't dealt with a girl in 2 years." Right? He probably he's dealing with issues because of how he used to be, but he like, "Yo, it's been like 2 years, bro. I ain't touched a woman, and you know this is what's going on." But I think it's more powerful for me to be around and kind of be an example and kind of like continue to encourage them and just, you know, I've noticed that you know that's worked for me. So
I was gonna say there's
But
a
you
lot
know,
of
it could just go the opposite way though. He could be a bad influence on you.
can't nobody be a bad influence on me.
That's what your mouth say. But your actions could say something totally different.
that can go either way. That can go either way. I definitely say it depends on the dynamic of y'all's relationship, man. It could definitely go either way. Like you can be an influence to one of your friends. You know, if they are one of those type of guys, you could influence them to get their stuff together. You know, but also too, like he said, if and I think you said this too, Trev, if they don't want to hang up the jersey and they still, you know, doing certain things, it's like, yeah, y'all go ahead and have it, bro. Like y'all know where I'm at, y'all know what I gotta do, y'all know what my responsibilities are. So I mean, eventually when there's that kind of circumstance, I feel like the relationship grows further and further apart eventually. Cause it's like, well, we're gonna talk on the phone a couple times. We might text, we might, you know, get on the phone, talk about the game, whatever. Might go have a beer or two or something, like whatever the case may be, but we ain't hanging out tough like we used to no more. And that's because we ain't in the same things. I can't do the same things that we used to do or that you're still doing. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that access kind of gets limited over time. If that's what your friend is still on and
I
there's no
just want
change.
to first before you go, I just want to say as a grown man, you should not be able to be negatively influenced. But maybe I'm putting too much. Maybe I'm being too harsh on people. Maybe people are people and they can be influenced. I don't think that you should be able to be negatively influenced by people around you. I mean,
I
I'm gonna
agree, man.
process that.
I agree with you, man. I don't think that a person should be able to negatively influence you as a man. I mean, yeah, I couldn't see it like right now. Like I don't care what y'all was doing, right? It does not matter what y'all doing. If it's something that I know will be a net positive to my life, then yeah. Because to be honest, I've picked up a lot of good habits based on some people on the panel, right? But I know how to filter what's good for me and what's not. I've gotten some useful information and a lot of different things. But if y'all do something that I'm not really into, that's cool. I'm definitely not a judgmental dude. Man, I let y'all rock. And a lot of times you don't even know the whole story behind why bro might be moving like that. We're not even considering that part. But you don't know what the situation is. So, because in other conversations, we defend everything that the man is going through and try to empathize with what his story is. But we're kind of forgetting that part right now. I think that we should at least take the time to see what's going on. Not to condone any of that nonsense, but before you just write somebody off, you might want to see what's really good with that if they're going to offer you that information.
And I think even if let's say even if my homies didn't stop cheating, right? I got a couple homies where I don't know if they stopped dealing with other women and stuff like that, but I think I still impacted them in a way as they don't tell me anymore. And I think in our community, at least because I only know our community, I think that we have a positive. It's a status quo that we do cheat. At least when it was me growing up, and it was a status quo that we do cheat, right? And I think we cheat because it's accepted. But the homies who I think do cheat or may, I don't think they tell me out of embarrassment. So I think that I also impacted by that becoming an embarrassing thing for them to tell me versus it being a thing that you don't mind telling me because you think that in our community it is a positive, not positive, but it's a neutral thing. It doesn't matter if I do it or not. So that environment, I think, is I think I affect the environment of cheating.
Go ahead, Willie.
Yeah, that sounds crazy, though.
To what the fellas is talking about, yeah, I'm not sans the measuring stick of time. I'm not fucking with somebody that cheats on their wife. And the simple fact is that if you make a vow to God and you'll fuck over that vow, you'll definitely fuck me over. So if I haven't known you for 10, 15, 20 years and I don't know your character, I don't know you, that's something I'm going to look at you by. I'm going to judge you by as I try to build anything with you. Personal friendship, one thing, but typically at this age, most personal friendships come with some sort of business attached to them, especially when that's your focus is to always earn and learn. So I have to look at somebody who does that type of stuff as less trustworthy as someone who doesn't. But for the actual question, I mean, like these people are saying like marriage produces leadership when in actuality, stability and competency produce leadership. So like confusing those two things is like saying having a Ferrari makes you rich. That's stupid. That's the most illogical thing we can say out here. Because then if you ask that person, just say, okay, well, hey, do you believe that marriage creates competence or do you believe that competent people get married? They'll never be able to answer that question because it defeats the logic in there. Like it's a hasty generalization saying, well, because these CEOs are married means that this is this, and these politicians are married means that society distrusts men less, and that's not the case. Like marriage is a terrible character. Judge of character. Anybody can get fucking married. We've seen people on this panel that are married, and we're like, they say niggas will fuck anything. It seems like some niggas will marry anything. We've seen it. So we can't say that, well, just because a lot of these people are and a lot of those people are means this thing, because a lot of CEOs are single when they're building up these companies. They get married after the fact. A lot of these politicians aren't married before they get into politics. If you look at several of these presidents and these candidates we've had for judge, Supreme Courts, or whatnot, those people met their wives because of their political careers. Because there is a saying that someone who is married is more trustworthy, and not just because they're better leaders. A man who has a family, somebody that he's leading and guiding, of course he's going to be trustworthy. I would trust marriage advice from Hink because he's married before I would trust, Fresh when he's not. Because he's actually doing the thing. He's actually living the thing. His every moment is involved in the thing that he's advising me on. So when we ask these questions, it's just weird because people, these niggas get on these podcasts and do these fake monologues as if they talking to somebody when there's nobody else in the fucking room, and then just start running off at the conversation. That's cool. But I really would challenge us and everybody listening to just learn to identify logical fallacies when people make statements, because once you do that, you'll start seeing how many of these talking points just fall flat on their face.
Real quick, I've always disagreed with the point of when people draw the correlation, and a lot of people do this, and I think it's logically sound if you on the surface that cheating makes somebody a less trustworthy person, right? Or that they can potentially betray a friend of theirs, and I find that to, from my experience, not be true, but also I don't think data backs it up. But I think that somebody can betray you out of their integrity, right? I can have so much integrity that I betray my best friend because you committed a crime and I told on you because it was the right thing to do, right? So like I can betray you because I love my wife so much. I love my wife so much that I value this relationship so much that I'll betray you because nothing will ever allow. I will never mess up this relationship. So fuck you over there, and I'll betray you, right? So I don't know. And this is just I'm just processing thoughts, you know. But right now I'm kind of like trying to really process. Does it make somebody less trustworthy, or does it mean that they'll betray you? Because when we're and probably where a lot of us grew up, it was the status quo to cheat on your girl, but like your homies would be like 10 toes for you, right? And they might always cheat on their girl or their wife, and it's like they will never under any circumstance betray you, right? And that's just kind of from my experience, like knowing guys growing up and stuff like that in those relationships. So I don't know.
So I'm not saying that
do you
it by
think
default means that you're going to do it, but we can't deny that there's a hierarchy when it comes to loyalty. If a person will betray the person who is supposed to be closest to them, everybody beneath that they should betray according to that inherent hierarchy. So if this person is number one in your life and you're number four, if they'll fuck over their number one, then they would also fuck over their numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Like that hierarchy, we can't deny that. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but someone who cheats on their wife is a lot more likely to do something foul to you because they promised between her and God to do this thing, right? If they're not even willing to uphold that, any word they give you doesn't mean shit. Because if you lie to, like if a nigga lie to God, I know he'll lie to me.
Well, I think the presumption is that that person truly puts God where you think they should put God, right? And I think a lot of people, more people than we would give credit for, don't truly put God there. But if they were devout to their religion, then I think that would be a key to if they could betray you or not. But I think that the logic it sounds like it makes sense, but I think you'll come to find that a lot of men will their wife would happen to be the first person that they'll betray when it comes to cheating, but their homie they would never betray under any circumstance.
That makes sense in saying as far as saying what you're saying. However, the only difference now is that if somebody makes a vow to God that they don't believe or respect, that's still bad too. Like that's almost as bad. Why would you? Now, if you're doing that, I feel like you're a coward because you didn't have the balls to tell your woman that, hey, listen, this isn't what I subscribe to for real. I want to marry you and all of that, but I'm not with this God shit. I'm not with this, you know what I'm saying, till death do us part stuff. And because most men know they can't have those types of conversations with their women, they're not going to. So niggas get up here every day and go, before, do you so-and-so take so-and-so and Jesus, you know what I'm saying, before God and, forsaking all others, they'll make that vow to some shit they don't believe in. And that's the point. Like that says a lot about your character. More so than it says anything else. It tells me that you're willing to just go with the flow, go along. And then in your case, you too bitch made to not just tell your woman what it really is. So one, you bitch made because you scared to tell your woman how you really feel. And then the other one, you willing to put the one person who's supposed to be closest to you and you'll fuck over her. So then I already know that you fuck over me under whatever circumstances I'm saying may present themselves.
I'm gonna let Fresh go.
I was thinking about what you were saying, Ma, where for some men, they would absolutely not, screw over their homie. Is it possible that inherently they understand that they could possibly be forgiven by their wife, but if you screw over your homeboy, it will never be the same again?
I think it's the status quo. It's like this, right? It's like you can be a bad son to your mom, not a bad son, but you can be a misbehaved son to your mom, right? Because you might love your mom more than anything. However, if I misbehave, my mom will forgive me because my mom's lenient. My dad, I don't misbehave around my dad because he can whoop my ass, and I respect my dad so much, that I would never do that. However, my mom gives me leniency. There's slack on this rope, so I'm going to misbehave around my mom, and I'm gonna act crazy, and my mom's still going to love me, and I'm gonna love her.
This is one of those times where comparing a marriage to like a husband-wife relationship to a father-wife, a husband-wife relationship to a father's daughter or mom, mother, son doesn't fly, because those two relationships aren't based on choice, selection, romance, or they're saying a chemical imbalance that says, hey, you love this person. Your parents love you because they created you, they raised you, they helped mold you. They are responsible for you without that vow to God. So to say, well, because my mom gives me leniency and I misbehave in front of her, why shouldn't I give that to my friend and cheat on his wife? You can't conflate those two things. Like those two things don't align at all. If you're saying that, okay, well, because my friend cheats on me, then I should give him some grace like my mom gave me. No, you can give him grace like God gives people grace, but it's not the same grace that your mom gave you. Your mom gives you that grace out of her motherly love and her obligation to you as your mother. Nothing about those two things is the same or even remotely similar.
So I'm listening to both the arguments, and y'all both making great arguments rather, because in theory, Willie, you're 100% right. Like we make a covenant to God, and you claim that that's the highest, and you should honor that, and that should be how we live our life. We shouldn't betray the person that love us the most, that's supposed to be there for us, and all those things. You're 100% right. I think the point mine is making is valid and concerns to the social aspect of how we're raised, because like that keeping real with your homies and not with women shit was a valid cultural stance for a while within the community, right? It's been a shift where we kind of gravitated to the point you made later when you were saying that you're just a coward because you won't actually just come out and say, hey, I don't want to be monogamous, and you allow yourself to be bullied into monogamy, right? I think both of y'all are making points that actually are relevant and make the most sense. Would I cut somebody off based off of them cheating on their wife? Honestly, I would cut them off for not taking care of their kids or doing something funny with children type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Abuse of the family, that type of thing. The cheating, I wouldn't cut them off, but I wouldn't be able to co-sign and do certain things with them based off of that. And it could be that I'm flawed based off my sociological programming or the cultural aspect of how I grew up. Like I don't want to create a hardline stance that I know I don't actually follow and then say it. But ideally, I would want to see my guys to just be family man, put their family first, and move forward. But I also understand my biology is different than their biology. They might move in a different way than me, and I don't really want to put my moral compass on them outside of saying that it's cowardly for not keeping it real. Like I don't think you should be out here cheating on people. I think you should keep it real and tell the truth or move on. But I also understand that a lot of people don't have the courage to do that. And you down there got to stand up in the face of society and say, I don't care what y'all talking about. This is me, accept it or not. And then let the cards fall where they may. And a lot of people don't have the privilege to just do that. So I understand why they feel like they forced into a situation where they have to lie. We talk about it all the time on how men would prefer to operate is villainized to the point that most niggas lie about this shit. Like if that's actually what you want to do. And I think y'all both making great points. I think it's an age difference. So Mont I agree with Mont from 9 to 24. And then I agree with you, except for cutting the friend off, but how you should move from 25 to right now. You know what I'm saying? You get the point? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because my thing is this, right? Like when temptation and self-interest collide against loyalty, that person has already shown me they're willing to choose themselves over a commitment they've made. So I'd be foolish to not take that into consideration. Now, when you're saying like Mont's from a different era, that's why I said sans time, because there's certain people that I know would fuck over their wife, girlfriend, and brother or sister before they fuck over me. So those people, I don't necessarily apply this to. But when I'm talking about my recent friendships, the last year or so, right? Those are the people that I don't have enough to judge them off of, to vet them. So those are the things that if I saw early would make me look at them differently and then also, handle them accordingly. But, what I'm saying, if I know somebody for 10, 15 years and I know he just fucks bitches sometimes. He can't, he doesn't try to, but he goes out. He was getting bitches before he was married. And now he decides, every now and then, he gets hit on by 100 bitches, he might fuck two. So he's faithful 98% of the time. So I'm not gonna treat him like he's funking. I'm not gonna give him an F in for faithfulness because he hit 2 of the 100 bitches that tried to hit on him. But I've known him for 15 years, so I know his character. I vouch for that. But a nigga I just met, and the first time I meet you, we go out and I met your wife, introduced you to your family, and we're in the club, and you in here trying to get bitches, and then I look at you like you're a whole different person.
So Marcus, you doing this man a disservice by what you sit there and say. You call this man a child, undeveloped minded child. That's what you're saying about mine. From 9 to 24, that's how you move like mine. But 25 and older, you dead wrong for that. Now when we hear men talking and acting like that, you gotta get on that goddamn ass. Don't cater to them motherfuckers. They men. You're supposed to talk to them as such. And if Mont's moving wrong, we got to tell Mont you're moving wrong. And you're moving wrong. I expect that from me. If I'm moving wrong and I'm moving dirty, and y'all see me out there moving dirty, say something to me. Don't just sit there and let me just do that bullshit. Y'all know I'm on some bullshit. Because now I got to question you if you really a friend. You ain't no friend to me. You're not. You can't be. Because if you're a friend, you wouldn't sit there and let me. You a yes man. And I don't want them in my goddamn circle.
And even
So
if you got,
you
if
see,
you have a certain,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
See, so
Go
you
ahead,
see,
bro.
do you have a best male friend?
Yes.
So right now, if you saw your best male friend, if your best male friend was out with another woman, you gonna cut him off completely and not talk to him anymore?
No, I didn't say I was gonna cut him off completely. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna have a conversation with him. I'm gonna talk to him, and I'm gonna let him know what it is. Now, if he's not willing to make an adjustment or a change, then I'm done with him. I'm done with it.
Well, kudos to you. My stance ain't that hard line, but I respect it.
I got
You got to think too. If you got stuff going on in your own life, man, and you a certain stature yourself, you might be doing a lot of good things in the community. You great at work. You just got a great reputation, man. It's probably best, if that's what's going on. Because now, like you said earlier, you're gonna be guilty by association, whether you like it or not.
I think if we break it down into more of a my fault, Trevon. I thought you.
No, go ahead.
I think if we break it down into more of a situation type of situation where your extracurricular activities call for, say, your woman to call me and check on your alibi. Now you pulling me in, and that's something I absolutely can't deal with. I don't necessarily want to get into what you got going on in your relationship. Like Hank said, I definitely will mention it to you. Like, hey, you got a good thing going on. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no reason for you to do all this extra stuff. Tighten up. But if there's a particular position where you put me in something, then that's definitely going to be cause for, exile or excommunicado.
So I've been in that situation before, Fresh. And but I just told him, like, bro, don't include me in your life. Don't put me in a situation I won't put myself in. But that's still my homie. I don't dislike him and won't talk to him no more. I'm still cool with him.
Yeah, it's not that we dislike, but I don't deserve that because you want to go ahead and get your nut off. I don't deserve to have to be in position. You know what I'm saying? Like, be straight up. Like, hey, listen, I'm out here wilding, blah 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 blah. If you get this call, da 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 da. Okay, cool. We still probably gonna rap about that, but don't hit me with the blind side, and I gotta get in the mud with you.
Wait, so you saying it's cool if they tell you ahead of time?
No, I'm not saying it's cool.
That's what it
I'm about to
sounded
say, I
like.
don't want to be involved in that
I'm not
bullshit.
saying
Period.
it's cool. I'm saying it's like we still gonna have a conversation, but don't set me up.
Wait, are you saying?
So would you cover for him?
Yeah.
Would I cover for him?
Turns out the you who chanted.
First time, yeah, probably, yeah. Instinctively, I ain't gonna even lie. Instinctively, I'd be like, yeah, we went bowling or some shit because it's like I'm on the spot. That's where my loyalty at, right? I'm on the spot.
Bowling. We went bowling.
That was quick too, man.
My homies know better than try to get me to lie for him. Like, you ain't about to make me to a liar. Don't make me to, like, don't, if his girl call me, listen, don't call my phone. I ain't, like, if that's what they want, like, Do not make, you're not about to make me into a liar. I don't do. I'm
So
what you gotta say, Marcus?
so Hink, if your best friend wife call you and you found out that he was on some bullshit, you just seen her, right? And she call you and say, Hink, I'm about to leave him and take the kids away. I just need you to confirm. He said you was with him. What's your response?
You said I just saw him.
Like you told me you don't agree, and then his wife call you and say, hey, Tony, I believe Tony is cheating. I can't prove it, but I trust you, Hink. He said he was with you, and if you tell me no, I'm gonna take the kids and I'm leaving him. And it's your best friend and his 5 kids and his wife. What you gonna do, Hink? You gonna say no, he went with me.
5.
I'm gonna say you need to talk to Tony. Look,
No, I've already talked to him, and he said he was with you. I need to know. Was he with you, Hink?
You need to talk to Tony. I said it before. I'm not.
But I talked to Tony, and Tony said he was with you.
I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna say it for a third time because Marcus.
Are you telling me that he? Are you telling me that he wasn't with you?
I don't. Look. I don't believe in nobody get involved in my relationship, so I'm not gonna get involved in theirs. You need to talk to Tony.
The more you say it, the more it sounds like.
Yeah, I was about to say, hey, if you can't just say yes, he with me.
No,
she already know.
I don't get involved. Look, I don't want nobody involved in my marriage, so I'm not going to get involved with somebody else's. You need to talk to Tony.
Hey, 2 things y'all got to remember. One, Hink wife is in the chat, bro. So just saying. Then 2, y'all got to remember.
So what you saying? Are you saying you can't trust him to give a
No, what I'm saying is at the end of the day, Hink is gonna take care of his household and do what it takes to maintain his peace, as a wise married man should. That's what I'm saying. But the second thing is, anytime somebody call you with that, like, bro, wouldn't we just be like, hey man, you know what the fuck we was doing? Or if it's his girl she called, just either say, listen, don't if that whatever that nigga told you what we was doing, it's not in my business. Or you gotta say y'all was doing something so drastic that she don't believe it. That she really believed the shit that he said. Like, nah, last night we went out and got on these midget bitches. We was having shots. We was doing midget darts. Like, and then we went and had a baby oil. Like, you got to say something so stupid so the girlfriend or wife hang up the phone on you. She didn't want to talk to you no more.
Well, you know that's covering for him.
I don't give a shit if it's covering. I didn't say I wouldn't do it. I just said, like, remember, I'm talking about for like my old homies. For new niggas, I'm just gonna hang up the phone.
Yeah.
Like, sir, first of all, why is your wife calling me?
I can't believe it, Jesus.
Like, yeah, why the fuck is your wife calling me, Mr. New Homie? But like my niggas I went to school with, that I was in the military with, you know, I done bled with or whatever. You know, if their wife called me, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, first of all, why are you calling me? What did he tell you he was doing? So make sure you add the part about the midget bitches and baby oil and get off my phone.
So Hink, if one of your homies get jammed up and he used you as an alibi and the police come ask you, like, yeah, was he with you? What you gonna say? Nah, he wasn't with me. He on his own.
The police?
Yeah, like I'm just curious where is it the same stance like with the women, or is it just you said you gonna stay out of it, or you gonna he say me and he went to go eat, and like so situation like something happened and to his child, and the man went over there and slid on him, right? And he did what he planned on doing, and you knew about it, but you ain't go with him, and the police come say, yeah, he said you was his alibi. You gonna say no, I wasn't with him, or you gonna say you was the
Marcus? You know damn well Hank telling.
Yeah, I'm a snitch on him because first of all, you know, you have no love or no respect for me and my family. You don't care about me, that you involved me in this criminal activity that I had nothing to do with. So yeah, he wasn't with me.
Hank telling, even if he didn't involve him, if he ended up just telling Hank on something like, bro, like I just gotta tell you, bro, what I did the other night. Hank's still telling if the cops come to his fucking door.
Hey,
lock his ass up. Lock his ass up.
That's what my thanks. That's what my thanks. Who am I to tell?
Hank, you not gonna tell?
If the police ever call you and say,
did you not hear his scenario he gave me? He said,
no, I used a different one.
He used me as an alibi to a crime that he committed, and he want me to be involved in some type of way. And I wasn't around. I wasn't there. Hell yeah, I'm telling.
I agree with you. I think that that's the right thing to do. However, let's say your homie just confided in you about something that he did because somebody did something to his kid or whatever, and he said, "Yo, bro, I did this the other night," and then the cops was like, "We just wanted to talk to you."
Mhm.
Did he talk to you at all about what he did the other night? I think that you're going to tell. Just my opinion. I do think that you're going to tell. But
you said my homie talked to me first before the police, right?
he talked to you.
Okay, cool. You know what I'm gonna tell my homie? Go get his lawyer.
Okay, but if once the police
That's
come,
all I said, go get your lawyer.
that's great advice. Now, once the police come to you and they're like, "Yo, we just want you to," they subpoena you. Like, what are you going to tell?
I told him to go get a lawyer.
But they, I don't know. I think they're going to get it out you, man.
About the sacrifice is being at the crib with his
No, I'm
family.
not.
That
For what?
He
why
gonna
would
find a way
sacrifice
around
everybody?
it.
I love all you brothers, but ain't no way I'm gonna sell out what about me and mine here for some bullshit that you shouldn't involve me.
To the point that I spoke about earlier when I said your homie can betray you based on something else that he cares about. But this was that's similar to the example that I gave you. And I did want to.
He's right. He could betray me,
Hey,
but he's not gonna like the results.
You don't have to say anything when the police contact you, and if it'd be wise if the police contact you asking about somebody else's alibi, just tell them to talk to your attorney. You don't ever talk to the police for nothing. Like even if it was true.
I just thought about something.
What?
Wait, Hank.
Uh-oh.
So if your wife asks you is one of your friends cheating, are you gonna tell her?
You said what again?
If your wife asks you if one of your friends cheating, are you gonna tell her?
No.
You believe that, Mike?
I'm so confused. Because when Darwin said he told his wife everything, you was like, "Oh, this pillow talking ass nigga, yada 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 yada."
I don't do that though. I don't do that.
So
I don't believe in that though.
So you'll oh my god. So you'll protect him from gossip, but not a life sentence.
I just won't tell his business. I won't tell his business. It's not for me to tell. You want to know about him? You need to go ask him. Why are you asking me? I don't know. Go ask him.
Yeah, you keeping it a stack.
All right, let me just ask this final question. So, are you guys okay with men choosing to be single?
Have you seen the bitches on these panels?
Oh shit.
I think for certain reasons, yeah, for certain reasons.
Okay.
What? I commend it. I recommend it to most men, especially the successful ones.
Okay. And then are you guys okay with women choosing to be single?
Yes.
You know what I say?
I'm conflicted on that.
What I would say about that is I'm typically not a huge fan of people choosing not to have kids. And I'm not a huge fan of people saying that they are single or they're having kids because they want to enjoy life. And this might offend some people. I think that's gay. But yeah.
I think the majority of women should have to file for get a license to reproduce. So I would absolutely encourage the overwhelming majority of women to stay single or get into sex work.
What about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a choice to be okay with it. People make decisions like the brothers with the dating pool out here. I get it. I see why you'd be single. Just don't just do the right thing. It's simple, really. Well, you gotta live your life. Your life's yours, not mine.
Okay.
It's just the whole thing about, I think girls typically want to have fun their whole life, and they think, oh, I just want this is all about fun. What else beyond having fun and experiencing and traveling and living, and what about outside of yourself? What are you if somebody commits, if they yo, I'll give back and I do this and I go over here, and I then okay, I get that, but just the whole idea of I just want to enjoy life. Mine, I damn, I got
Well, if we look at the examples of that, we can clearly see that most of those folks are they kind of have hung themselves out to dry. They're just out and about traveling and not necessarily feeling as fulfilled. I mentioned before, and I'm not a parent, but in seeing youth learn from something that I have given to them gives me more joy than I can give to myself. Passing on and sacrifice, I believe, gives people more joy than anything that they can do alone. So all of the folks that talk about just going and traveling, just doing for self, that's just a moment in time. And eventually we will normally see them on somebody's talk show talking about some form of regret. So I think it's just an emotional talking point in that moment.
I will say this. You're going to have to manage your expectations about how much I'm able to participate in the consequences of your decision. Meaning, if you're getting to the end of the road and there's nobody to usher you up out of here, you know what I mean? Don't expect me to fill that office. I don't have my own issues. You know what I mean? You didn't build a family to be around you when it's time to go. At checkout time, hey man, I'm just gonna do. I mean, be there as best I can, but you're not gonna drag me in the ground with you. You gotta think about the future.
Big Aaron, your Wi-Fi a little shaky.
What else is new?
Yo.
I don't think that we should encourage the majority of people to get into like a relationship, and having kids should be the last things people should do. Like, and so like in the military, we had a standard, right, where you have to learn how to do this thing before you could get qualified through the next thing, right? So forth and so on. I feel like we need that for reproductive rights with people, because some people just go out here and make babies and ain't worth a damn. They'll have nothing going for them, don't have a plan, don't have a pot to piss in, and they just out here fucking creating babies, or just getting pregnant and becoming a leash to the government. I think it's super, super, super hurtful for our community, or in just even in our society. Like, people can have a baby. People can have a baby all willy-nilly, but they can't go to school, they can't get a loan for a business, and it's just weird is how like they keep allowing folks to have all these kids they can't take care of, as if they didn't already know that was part of the plan to keep them where they are. Because the one thing a broke nigga and a broke bitch like to do is fuck.
Go ahead, man.
You saw me?
Yeah, I said go ahead. That's how I came out the mic.
I don't want to drag on the topic at all. I definitely had more things to say, with Willie about the cheating thing and the mindset and like why and what happens. I don't want to drag it on too long, but I thought that the example that I brought up when I compared it to a mother and child, I thought it was perfect, even though he thought it wasn't good. I thought it was perfect because I think it's just human nature of no matter what it is, you will do as much as you're allowed to do, whether that relationship is with you, whether that is the relationship you have with a job, whether that's the relationship you have with nature. You'll do whatever it allows you to do. If fire wasn't hot, we have our hand in it all the time. We'd be doing a lot more with fire if it wasn't so hot. But that's why I think it was the perfect example, is we will just do what we are allowed to do. So if a woman is going to take you back after you do certain things, and this is the nature that your relationships have always been with women, you're just going to be trained that, okay, I can love women, I can cuddle with women, I can confide in women, I can do this, I can do that, and I can also fuck around on women at the same time. So,
So Monch, you're saying that if the man is with the right woman, like the woman that he truly desire and wants to be with, if she sets some boundaries, he's gonna follow.
I think he'll try much harder than a woman where the boundaries aren't set. I think he'll put the effort in, and I think at worst, he'll try to conceal it more than with a woman than the other woman. He'll put in more efforts, and I don't think women are better cheaters than men. I think they just care more because there's more societal shame associated with females cheating. So I think they do a lot more to hide it, versus men who were just like, I'll do a little bit, but at the end of the day, bitch, you gonna take me back. I ain't about to be doing all this extra crazy stuff. So,
all right, let me go ahead and switch it up to this next one, man. How you feeling about that first one?
It's cool.
All right. We got this young lady said a flex is having one woman.
Listen, fellas, send this to a man, any man. Y'all think the flex is having a lot of women? No. The flex is having one woman, a beautiful, ambitious woman that nobody can touch. I'm going to say that again. Not having a lot, but having one. Okay, and she loves you, she caters to you, she serves you, she adores you. But the gag is nobody can touch her. Nobody can touch her physically. Nobody can touch her mentally. Nobody can touch her emotionally. You damn sure can't touch her financially. See, that's the flex. Because, see me? You can't come close to me in no way, shape, form, or fashion. That's the flex that my man have. Okay? You even try to holler at me, I might look at you stupid. Okay? Don't walk too close to me. Okay? Don't compliment me a little too. Watch yourself now. I'm taking. Okay? I'm taking. Behind his back, I'm taking. I operate with integrity behind his back. See, that's the flex.
God, move the goalposts mid fucking like the first sentence. Like, God damn. Yes, it's a flex to have a woman who is inaccessible to other men. That's not what she said at first. She just said that having one woman. So to apples, having 5 bitches that are inaccessible to other men is a bigger flex than only having one. Like, this is the easy. I wish that people there needs to be an app to record when people want to record shit, and then it tells them is this stupid or not. It's like, God damn, obviously we know that
AI does that. They just don't use it.
Well, shit, then we should probably encourage that, because she said, okay, having one woman is cool, right? And that's having one good woman is cool. But I mean, if we want to keep the same energy and logic, having 5 of those women is even better. That's like a dude saying, okay, he got one Lamborghini. Well, cool. If he got a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, a Bentley, a Rolls Royce, and an Aston Martin, his collection is shitting on the nigga with just the Ferrari. Like, this women talking about men, like what shit should be to men. I think from like 2024 on, they just get more and more fucking outlandish.
Go ahead, Trey.
I agree with Willie on this one. I think I do understand her point, but Willie just broke it. So having somebody who is inaccessible is a great thing, because nowadays you always hear me say that women purpose men. So they'll have a dude just for this, and then another dude who can do that, another guy that could talk to him, another guy that could lay the pipe, another guy who could help them financially, another guy to take them out to eat because he's a foodie. And it's like, damn. So if you have a woman who is willing to be monogamous, then yeah, you did find a good thing. But again, Willie's right. If you find more, then absolutely, because that's what she was comparing it to. She was comparing it to having multiple women. But yeah, if they can't touch any of your women, then that would obviously be more of a flex. So it gets interesting when women are telling us how we're supposed to think right? And what we're supposed to see is acceptable socially for other men. Personally, I don't really judge men by like what they do with women per se. I look at, because for a lot of people it's a separate thing. If you look at some of the most successful people who were you might be morally aligned and everything else, but when you look at what they do as far as women are concerned, it's completely different. Some of our greatest politicians and leaders and stuff like that, they had a bunch of women, and you can't really judge a man necessarily based off that. That's not a factor that I even give much consideration to. I look at how you conduct business. I look at how consistent you are. Those are the type of things that make sense to me.
If I have $1 billion, that's amazing. It's awesome. If I have $5 billion, it's more fucking amazing. It's like, this shit is common sense. I got a woman can't nobody access. I know that I hit the lottery because a lot of these bitches is for everybody. I'd say 98% of these women have somebody that they gonna go for, regardless of how in love they are with their man. So to have a woman that doesn't apply to, congratulations, nigga. Move her to a small city and hire her like drug money. However, according to the logic in her video, having 5 women like that you'd have to move to that same small town and hire like drug money would be better than just having one. She didn't refute having multiple women is a great thing or is a bad thing. All she did was say that the real flex is having multiple women who are inaccessible to other men. So she kind of made the point for niggas who want to have multiple bitches.
You know, go ahead. I'll go next.
I just find these videos to be maybe just an opportunity for the lady to just speak, because oftentimes these points are kind of remedial for us.
She probably got caught cheating.
They think that they're saying something, but when they say that this is how men think, when in actuality it's not. This is how maybe men would think if they were teenagers. But for the most part, men that actually have purpose and understand that they got to do something know that they can't split their time in between a whole bunch of people that they also got to keep tabs on, unless they all on his program like Willie was talking about. So the videos actually, it kind of don't really make any sense to actually make it, because she's saying something that most dudes already know, but trying to present it as if dudes think that they want a whole bunch of regular chicks, which that was never the case. Exclusivity is something that men automatically want. Everybody wants a loyal woman. Everybody understands that having somebody that's down for you is better than having somebody that's going to be running around betraying you. This is remedial.
You know,
yeah, I think she would. Yeah, I think that her intent for this video was self-serving. I think so what she wanted to do was highlight how she thinks she's a great woman. I think that's what that video was more about than anything else. It was her bragging on the internet that she believes she's a good woman. It was the I'm the table conversation. And she just remixed that shit in a way and tried to get other people to validate it. I think
used us under the
as
bus
the people to validate that shit. Yeah. Like because she said this is a great woman and I am hers. Therefore, I am a great woman. Did you peep the logic? It would be like, y'all think it's a flex to have a man, but if he don't got a black Nipsey jogging suit with red on the sleeves and some glasses with wood on the side, then you don't got you a real nigga. Now I got like that's what she just did. Like,
correct me if I'm wrong. How many of us know women who talk like this and aren't still getting cracked by another nigga other than their man? Exactly. Like the only women who talk like this out loud are the ones that are just trying to sate themselves and cope and make themselves not feel better. Good women don't advertise it. They're just good women. That loyalty behind his back, all that shit is just natural to them. So when you see somebody like having to put this shit on a microphone and saying it out loud, the bitch is trying to convince herself. Like she's trying to make herself feel bad about answering that rich nigga's DMs I'm saying when her boyfriend down and out, like anybody who's just doing good doesn't go have to tell people they're doing good because they don't need that social validation. Like, and then too, she's not even engaged. Like I'm just saying, if a girl doing all of that shit and she's so loud and proud, like that shit just don't add up.
It was her way of presenting her value to him too. She was presenting it to the world, but she also was the nigga, you gonna miss me if I'm gone. You better appreciate what you got. A lot of men want a good woman. Like that was that conversation in a social media form to get clicks and views. You
could tell she's not actually having conversation with men about it, because if she would have just stepped in here, she would completely understand that we would rather have one person that's about us than be chasing a whole bunch of women, and most men are going to think like that. So just that particular immediately out the gate, she let it be known that it's a lower level conversation that we're having, even though it's presented a different way.
I kind of like got hit, like stuck on the part where she said ambitious. I'm like, I don't know. I feel the type way when girl, like, what you trying to like go down a boss babe route of like, if you got a girl who getting money and all this, like, cause I don't care about no woman money, and I don't like when they try to act like we do care about their money or if that's a benefit or something like that. So that part, no, I ain't like that. But also when she and maybe I'm different, this is not people's experience, but my baseline has always been you can't talk to no other niggas. So I don't know if she like saying like, oh, I don't talk to no other niggas. If you try and talk to me, I'ma say, get out my face, like, bitch, that's expected. Like that's like the bare minimum that I've ever had is like you better not let no nigga talk to you. So I don't know.
Like, think how low the bar must have gotten for somebody to say, I'm a great woman because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. That shit crazy. I know all these other hoes are whores out here, but I'm not. Not being a whore is not the top. That's normal.
She got the same face as a lot of them, same baby hairs, same makeup, same nails. Like what's Illa said, you know what I'm saying? The good woman stepped too close to the hoe. Speaking of, matter of fact, shout out to that nigga, this is his birthday today. So you know what I'm saying, shout out to the homie Illa. Forgot, you know what I'm saying, get that nigga his flowers.
Oh shit, happy birthday, Illa.
Like we talked about it before. Good women are starting to look like the whores. Like they start putting the same costumes on, the same uniforms on, and then coming out and, you know what I'm saying, trying to distinguish themselves from the whores by making these types of points and videos and shit. Like,
do you think
anybody that believes is her target demographic? And I hope that she gets everything she can from him because he deserves it for being a dummy.
Do you think this woman is that a good woman?
No, because she made a video about it. Nope.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I'm of the belief of the mind that there are no good women on the internet making content about relationships. They may be cooking, they may be doing some mom shit, they may be talking about fashion, but no wifely women are talking about relationships. No wifely women are out here on these panels doing any of this type of shit.
Even the ones who present wifely?
Especially them.
Oh.
I might give two people a pass.
I think there are some that have built a platform on being instructional to that end, you know, being didactic to the art of being wifely, like, you know what I mean? They're promoting it. But yeah, I see what you're saying though. The virtue signaling, right, is what you're going to see most of the time. And this woman used virtue signaling to grandstand herself is what it is. You know what I mean? But like you said, it's just, she's just the bare minimum is what she's.
Yeah, just go look at that girl. Look at her. That girl is following, and just see what her following is comprised of. I promise you, it's going to be a lot of niggas in there for her to be talking about this type of shit. You know, she just Derek Jackson with a pussy.
You know, I do want to state that I do think it's different for men though. I think that if you are a man that women want, and you're faithful, and you don't cheat on your woman, at this point, you know, in the market, I do think you deserve to be elevated for that. I don't think, for whatever reason, I don't think that's the baseline. I think that's spectacular if a man is like that.
Yeah, are you saying that it's a flex if a woman can get a man to sit still?
Yeah,
the other way? You're right. I would agree with that. That's more of a
yes.
Well, yeah.
Like that's like I'm saying, okay, is it more of a flex for a motherfucker to tame a horse and ride that, or for a bitch to tame a Tyrannosaurus Rex and ride him?
Right. That one.
Which one? Who are you gonna give the more credit to? Like the girl who can go get a nothing ass nigga to sit his ass down, or to a nigga to get money and bitches and sit his ass down?
Right.
Like it's degrees of difficulty to this shit, and it's not even hard. Like if I see a woman that can go tame a Tyrannosaurus Rex, you know what I'm saying, a T-Rex nigga, and put a saddle on him and ride him and get him to come home and not an only eat and kill for her, like she's killing shit. She's the one that, like, that's a win.
Yeah,
but saying you go get the nigga, you know what I'm saying, who work at Walmart, that nigga's gonna be okay with box of macaroni and cheese and 2-3 times a month pussy. Of course you can get him to sit his ass down. It's gonna be easy.
It's a terrible deal.
Yeah, but getting a good woman to sit down is easy. And if you tame a hyena, that's unfortunate.
Well, no, if the tamer, no, you shouldn't try to tame a hyena.
Goddamn it.
That's what I'm saying. That's unfortunate.
Down. Like euthanize them hoes. No love for hyenas. Any nigga that's trying to tame a hyena is not a good man. And no good man that other men respect would even entertain a hyena.
Willie, check the back check.
Can you guys give me some telltale signs, like some subtle signs that your woman may be a hyena?
Loud ass mouth.
Yeah. I mean, you want examples of people or just like characteristics?
No, I mean, because there may be some undercovers. I mean, we know the obvious, but like, what are some telltale signs that people may be able to recognize that's a little subtle? Like,
thanks that women can do anything that a man can do. That pathway. That's a pathway to destruction right there.
Yeah, second guess your decision making is bad. When she start having all of these weird suggestions on shit you need to be doing.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think if a woman disagrees with men too much, like I think you know, like for example, right? I know people like to say Bo is like all that, like Bo agrees with a lot of the shit we say, right? Bo agrees with the core shit. Like she like Bo not a, you know, but it's some women who like will argue you down about everything that we talking about, right? Like, I don't see it that way. Like, you know, like don't believe in gender roles at all type of thing. I think Bo was on record saying like, no, like I want a man to lead and shit like that. So
any woman that, like, when you give her an example trying to explain something to you, she argues about the example instead of what's being compared or the point.
Yeah.
Because then that shows she's not capable of abstract thinking and that she has a ceiling. So she's just going to bump her head against that. Well, if the analogy doesn't make sense to me, then the point obviously doesn't make sense. These girls with these long ass eyelashes, these colorful ass wigs, any woman with a septum piercing for 1,000,000,000%, any woman with excessive baby hairs over 30, almost by default, women with excessively white toenails, women who argue with common sense points about things like, oh, well, if a woman, it takes two to have a baby, but even though the woman is the one that could die in child labor and the woman is the one that could terminate the pregnancy, they still have equal responsibility. Anybody thinks that type of shit, like all feminists, especially black ones, all of them, just hyena them bitches and just put them down.
Poor quality tattoos. The quality of tattoos.
Oh God, yeah, that's a big one. Oh man.
Yeah, I got tattoos look like they came out of coloring book. It's diabolical.
Yeah.
I got 2 litmus tests. One is simple: make the word submit audible, clearly audible, and then watch to see if her pupils dilate. If they do, get out of there. And the other one is put on Beyonce's All My Single Ladies. If she cannot sit still and freeze like a statue, get out of there.
Also, bro, like, I ain't gonna hold you. That's probably one of Beyonce's only songs that I fuck with.
Yeah, well,
it's just catchy. I can't. I'll be real. It's just a catchy song to me. I only like
Nobody's
2 of her
perfect.
songs. It's that one and Cater to You. But I mean,
do you dance to
I
single
would have said
ladies?
Daniel. I would have said
You-
that. Whoa!
absolutely the
Oh my God! No, don't do that.
Hit the podcast, Willie. Hit the podcast. Hit the
You know
road,
what?
man.
You know what? Talk about his
All his goddamn ass and shit.
like,
I know you got a
like
button,
stab
Willie. I know you got a
touchy,
button,
or
man.
like you be in the car like
No. No.
Y'all know what?
You ain't ever popping your ass on you to them goddamn.
Oh no, go ahead. My fault.
But that,
y'all know
that is
another
real
one is
to your point, Big Aaron. That is a really good one. Like if she start talking about it's 7 p.m. Friday, anytime a Glorilla song come on, and she put one hand in the air, just walk the fuck away from that bitch. You already know what type of time it's gonna
That's
be.
it. That's it. That's the one that's gonna get on the table at Stake 48 if that same song come on.
God damn.
Also, any woman who say "I am the table," like at any point ever, even though it's not a question that I don't think men typically ask, but if you ever hear her say it, if she talking to somebody else, if she listening to a video,
Any woman that says she's independent, like that's a good thing. Like,
Yeah,
congratulations
that
on being
was
a
going
fucking
on.
adult.
I'm independent.
Like, you think about it, bro. Like people don't they say if a woman saying she's independent is only from one or two things, her father or men in general, because when you become an adult, you're independent of your parents' authority. And if you're a 40-year-old woman talking about, oh, I'm independent, but what you're independent from needing a man because you don't fucking have one. Everything that makes a woman independent is basic shit. None of it is like exceptional. Oh, you pay your own bills. Congratulations. Oh, you might not have taken miles of dick. Congratulations. Oh, you've kept the job for 2 or 3 years consistently. Congratulations. Oh my God, you're a mother to the kids that you had by 6 different niggas. Congratulations for doing your goddamn job.
There's only like 12 people in the world that are truly independent anyway. They're like off the grid, living on the land. Like they may be self-sufficient, but you're not independent. You depend on somebody every day you wake up. You know what I mean? You depend on the farmer at Dole and Oscar Mayer to feed your ass. You depend on your boss. You depend on Exxon to put, you know what I mean? Come on. And ask her about her top 10 favorite movies. If any of them are by Tyler Perry, get out of there.
I was gonna say that the media that you consume, you can't value your foresight.
What if it's Daddy's Little Girl?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Daddy's Little Girl is one of my favorite movies.
Come on, that's a shot in the dark. That's gonna be Daddy's Little Girls though. It's one movie out of 100.
Well, you know what though? You just made me a point because I ain't a bitch is gonna love Daddy's Little Girls because she gonna be the bitter baby mama.
Jackpot.
So you
She
got
gonna be able to
to
relate, huh? She gonna be able to relate to that woman.
I got a question. What is your favorite movies?
I can't talk about most of mine.
Well, Outlaw Josie Wells.
It used to be The Bat, and then turned into Boomerang.
Black
right
Gentleman?
now, it's probably what's the Denzel movie where John Q.
Oh, John Q was crazy.
I've seen John Q twice in my life.
movie.
I'll never watch that movie again.
It's a tough watch.
I watched that movie before I had a kid, and then I watched it after. I could never watch that movie again.
It's a hard watch.
Yeah, that's John Q is tough. John Wick is probably like John Wick 1, 3, 2, and 4. Probably my like top 10 in that order.
So, Mom, what's yours? Wait and Exhale.
Damn.
I ain't never seen that. I don't even get the reference. But I would say I like 2 movies a lot. I like 3 movies. I'm gonna say I Am Legend. I like that a lot. Every time I watch it, every time that dog run inside of that joint, every time I watch it, it's very suspenseful for me. But I like I Am Legend. I like The Hateful Eight, and I like Django.
Django's in my top 10 too. I think I know that movie word for word.
Yeah, I like Django too.
Well, just the racist parts, not the like in between shit. I don't care about that, but the racist parts are funny.
God damn, Willie.
This nigga here
Sound
ain't like
like
none of the other niggas. You see,
I'm just trying to be funny. That's the memorable part of the movie. Like from where Django, he meets, you know what I'm saying, he goes to Candyland. If you watch that movie, I can run that shit down word for word. Like I'm trying to get a roll in a bit, motherfucker, bro. That's when the shit is funny. You want me to treat him like I treat the rest of these white folks? No, that's not what I said. Like
that boy crazy.
that's part of the movie.
That nigga on that nag, boy.
Hey, Martin, Hateful Eight, how you like how they played that plot twist at the end when you realized that his daddy was the one that killed his daddy?
Yo, I loved every moment of that movie. Is just I can watch that 1,000 times, man.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors went to my high school. Cool dude.
Really?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Until you start fucking with white women.
To answer your question, I don't know that I have
Your
a
girl,
favorite movie.
Regina King was a shit on that too, boy. She was a beast.
Yep.
Who?
He was tough.
Who?
Yeah, for me, the movies I like is The Wolf of Wall Street and
Classic.
The Town.
Hey, JR, I went and saw The Wolf of Wall Street with this girl I was dating. Her
Ben
mother.
Affleck?
Yeah, The Town. Yeah.
All white people look the same.
So look, so we go watch The Wolf of Wall Street. The very first scene, like, boy, he doing coke out that girl's ass. The girl's mom was like, "Oh my God, I miss the 80s." I look at the girl, like, I didn't look at her mom because I didn't want to make eye contact with her at this point because I have so many questions. And then, like, she just put her hands in her face, like, and then she was like, "What? How you think you got here?" So I had to sit and watch. I had to sit in between them and watch the rest of this movie with a straight face. Whole time I'm thinking, like, man, I gotta get the fuck away from this girl because if this is her mama, I know what she's gonna turn into. I know exactly what she's gonna turn into. I didn't even know you could do coke out of somebody's ass until that movie.
All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and get to the next topic in. If you haven't already, man, hit that like button. That's all I'm asking for you. Hit that like button. Here we go.
Common job of a woman that divorces her husband. In my experience, they're a nurse. The infidelity rates are the highest among nurses. Teachers, but I think statistically the highest would be homemakers.
Why does a housewife or a homemaker slash housewife, like, why does she divorce her husband?
I think idle hands are the devil's plaything.
I knew a guy who would brag about how stay-at-home moms were the easiest women to sleep with. And he used to say the same things that attorney just said. And obviously, this does not apply to all stay-at-home moms. And it goes back to idle time really being the devil's playground. Because contrary to social media and popular belief, no one is meant to just sit around all day doing nothing. I know online they pushes this idea of soft life, doing nothing, have everything ready and sitting for you hand and foot. But in real life, in the real world, it's actually counterproductive. And even the Bible touches on this. Everyone talks about Proverbs 31 and they quote it and they usually romanticize it, but they don't actually read it. The Proverbs 31 woman woke up before the sun was up. She worked with her hands. She bought land. She built a garden. She ran profitable trade. She cooked and fed her household. She clothed her family. She fed the poor. The Bible literally says she did not eat the bread of idleness, meaning that she did not sit around doing nothing all day. That's literally the opposite of a soft life. That's discipline, that's productivity, that's mission. And if you describe that to women today without saying that was scripture, many people will probably say she's doing too much or that she's oppressed. But the Bible called her virtuous. It called her honorable and strong. But let's deal with the real issue. The problem, it isn't staying at home. The problem was staying at home without a mission and purpose. It's a big difference between homemaking and idleness. Modern isolation, social media, comparison, no community, no shared financial or spiritual vision, that's always going to create a drift. And drifts create emotional instability. But here's what people don't say, is that idle time destroys men too. Men with too much time gamble, become promiscuous, and start unnecessary problems. So this isn't a women are the problem conversation. This is a purpose conversation. And men, this is where leadership comes in. Ephesians said husbands are called to love their wives like Christ loved the church. That includes leadership, vision, direction, and sacrifice. If your household has no mission, no structure, no shared goal, people are going to drift. So it's not leadership to build a household where your wife is bored, isolated, and purposeless. The Proverbs 31 woman wasn't sitting around waiting to be entertained. She was plugged into something that was bigger than herself. And the man she was married to, scripture says he was respected in the gates of the city. So that means he was disciplined and had his own responsibility. So that household, it was aligned. So men, it's important to remember that you're not working so hard to build a life where everybody around you is doing nothing. You working so hard to be an example of what it looks like when you live with purpose.
Guys thinking housewives divorce the most?
It plays into the nature of women. I'm gonna have an argument against it. I don't think that, and then the data supports it. So that attorney that was talking, if you guys listen to his content, he'll give men a lot of game. But I do know that nurses are the largest group of whores collectively, as far as profession goes. Though,
y'all think that women who stay home cheat more than women who have jobs?
Yes.
Interesting.
Because even a woman with a job has to be at work a lot of the time during the day. A woman that's a stay-at-home wife, she can get up and take as much dick as she wants.
Damn.
Space and opportunity, man.
God.
Yeah, it's way too much space and opportunity for dick, like extra dick.
Hold on now.
Yeah.
What she got young kids though? The willing that she gonna wait to put them to sleep, then take the dick?
Listen, I'm not even going to ask you this because your wife is in the chat. Trev, how many times have you had a woman put her kids down so you could go drop some dick off before?
God damn.
They were single moms though. They wasn't like
the single.
Well, married.
Yeah, I you know, former scumbag, but
Exactly.
I stayed away from the married ones. The married ones.
Everybody up here but Hink knows this. So now your brothers told you.
Valid.
Being married and laying down your being married and laying down your kid. Being married and laying down your kid to get cracked is crazy.
Mommy, I'm not sick, and
Listen,
I don't want to be.
I know
I don't want to take those ZZ Quill at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Now I've heard that there are some women who don't even remove the child from the room. So
I had somebody tell me something like that.
I did that before, but it was a baby though.
Yeah.
Was he in a bassinet or something? Mark?
Yeah.
Or was he on the baby?
It was like 6 months old. Was in the bassinet.
You niggas the fucking bitches with their kids in the bed with them?
No, in the room, not the bed.
Doing that. No, not in the. Well.
Oh my God!
Not me.
You out of pocket.
Not me. No,
I woke up in the morning.
That's out of control. Now, come on now.
You
talking about another level. I've heard some stories though, man.
Trevor, I thought you told me that the baby was bouncing on the bed.
Like
I woke up in the morning. She said to me, "Why didn't I make a play on her?" I said, you got your seed right there at the edge over there. She said,
all three of y'all was in bed together?
Yeah. She said, you could have snuck that. And I was like, what? Mind you, it's a mad professional woman.
So
they don't care.
Let's add this to the list of reasons why I understand why a woman's father will punch her in her forehead. If I caught my son's mom fucking while my sons are in bed with them, I'm catching a charge. That is the most trifling shit in the fucking world. Like I couldn't believe she said it. You trying to sneak some dick while you got the baby laying in bed with you, bitch? What is wrong with you?
I
gotta tell
that to the side. I said, hey, this is not what I thought it was. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Boy,
really?
That's when I thought I had the market cornered on trifling bitches. Clearly, there's some room for me to grow.
I gotta tell y'all a quick crazy story, right? So I had a homie before who he was homeless for a second, so he needed somewhere to stay, and I had let him stay with me for a second, right? And I really gave him one rule. I said, no women inside my house. Don't bring no women in my spot, because I had like a lot of Mary Jane inside of my spot. I said, don't bring no woman in my spot. He said, all right, cool. The first night, I swear to God, bro, I come in my house late. I see that my back door is locked, like the room where he was sleeping in. I see it's locked. I'm like, I think I saw something that made me go to his room and open. And like the doors that like you can just put a quarter in and open it up.
Mm-hmm.
it's locked, but I can always open up the door, right? I open up the door, and he was with this girl he'd been with for like 2 weeks. They just got together. It was him, her kid, and him sleep in the bed. I think she had two boys. All four of them would sleep in the bed. The first fucking night. I said, bro, you got. The next day, I said, bro, you gotta go, man. The first night, bro. No.
I don't know how I would feel if a girl tried to give me some pussy while her baby's in. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's when I feel like I want the baby daddy to like, or the crazy ex-boyfriend to pop up and like blow both of their brains out. Like, that's the most thank you, Jesus.
It was. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. The only thing that I could, because I was trying to give credit, and I was like, you must be in a space where you need it. You absolutely need it, and you like, I'm stuck. I ain't got nothing in a long time. I can't put this baby nowhere. I'm still not gonna do this, but I'm trying to justify your brain just melting because you ain't had none in a long time or something. So
why?
Just wake that lazy motherfucker up and go fuck her in the kitchen or something. Like, what are you?
She wanted to look at the baby while you hitting her from behind. Is that what she wanted?
Come on, man. I don't.
While she breastfeeding is diabolical, bro. I wouldn't even do that married. Like, let alone another one. You niggas is gross.
You said you want to do what?
I wouldn't hit my old lady from the behind while she breastfeeding.
Oh,
like, no, that's way too.
No. Conversation. I don't know why we got that.
That's weird.
I thought you said you wouldn't drink breast milk, and that was gross.
It is gross, nigga. I've never done that before in my life. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm a huge.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing that.
I can't wait till my girl gets. What?
Yeah,
you never had that?
Well,
you need to enjoy the experience, man.
Man, listen, whatever you need
so you just gonna leave him alone that entire time?
That's what I've done it. Like, I have a track record of doing it, nigga. Like, what are we talking about?
I thought it was protocol.
All these kids I got, I ain't never taken breast milk. Like, what? Ugh.
They're right.
It's good for you.
So you think human milk is gross?
Disgusting. What?
I think
what milk is good?
Cow milk is gross too. I don't.
Okay, that's consistent. Most guys will still drink cow milk though.
Oat milk.
Yeah, y'all weird, G. Like, no disrespect, no shame. If you like titty milk from your girl, that's cool. But if my girl's titties is like full of milk, that's for the baby.
No, take it. I definitely do. Yes, I definitely do. I will be.
I don't want to be 42 and breastfeeding. Like, that's just not on my bucket list.
So, Mom, what you gonna do?
You don't know until don't knock it till you
enough for both of y'all, man.
What you gonna do when the baby's birthday? Are you gonna move the baby away from her and put your hair down there?
The baby gonna have their own designated nipple, and I'm gonna have mine.
You gonna
so
take
you
the
gonna
other?
take a titty and the baby get the other titty?
Yeah.
You gonna take the right or the left?
I ain't gonna tell you my favorite one because that's too much.
Yo, first of all, the fact that I
got a favorite though.
I do feel better now knowing that I'm not the only one that has like a favorite titty on his woman. I feel better about that one thing. But the fact that you're gonna pick yours based on which one you want to breastfeed from will never be the same.
Now you know what? I'll take the one that produced less milk. Whatever one that is, I'll take the L on that. I'll let little Junior get the
Where do you give it?
You like to work for your meal, huh?
Yeah, I got some weird fetishes, man.
You're not supposed to drink nothing you can't see through. You know that, right?
They say that?
You know, humans are the only animal on the planet that will do that.
Drink something they can't see through?
Yes.
Well,
I don't know. I think animals drink blood, don't they?
Huh?
Don't animals drink blood?
Who?
What animal? You
like if a lion is he's consuming blood, and I'm assuming that the blood is also probably giving him nourishment.
They're not drinking blood for hydration.
We're going down a
I
dark
think
road.
blood probably might hydrate animals. I don't know.
What?
The flesh probably hydrates an animal. I don't know. I would look it up. I'm gonna look it up. I think that might be part of like hydration. I don't know.
I don't know
right now. I don't know what y'all gonna say next.
Please pray for mine right now. All the
blood.
pray for mine.
Nah, pray for you niggas.
If I look it up and it's true, y'all gonna apologize.
Pray for them.
Y'all gonna start telling me something.
Yeah, I know which one of you niggas.
Yeah, what was your next subject? What was your next topic, brother? I'm sorry. I thought you said something about another topic.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and run this.
All right, good job, Hank.
Here we go, y'all.
Predict someone's divorce by their wedding. I believe that sometimes the bigger the wedding, the more likely the divorce. That's been my experience. I have found that the bigger the ring, the bigger the divorce, and the bigger the wedding spectacle, the more likely the divorce, in my experience. Because there is something extremely performative about a wedding. And there's also something extremely narcissistic about a wedding. If you break down like the role of a bride in a traditional wedding, meaning its current iteration, it's an unbelievably narcissistic pursuit for a woman. We're going to do an engagement, which is you're going to give me a stone of tremendous value that I'm going to wear as a public display of the fact that I am now engaged in this commitment. And then I'm going to put that on social media. And then we're going to have an engagement party. Then we're going to have all of these activities around planning this singular day where I'm going to be the center of attention. And then I'm going to have a bachelorette party. Then we're going to have a rehearsal dinner. Then we're going to have the wedding. And then we're going to have a honeymoon, which is basically like a week of partying. Oh, I forgot the bridal shower, by the way. I forgot the bridal shower. Like, if this is really important to you, you're telling me a lot about yourself. You're telling me how important being the center of attention is to you and how much this performative thing is to you. Now, by the way, I'm not pissing on weddings. Like, I think having a wedding's great. Like, I think you should celebrate. Like, I love this person. They love me. We found each other. Party, take some pictures, have some drinks, do the dance, do the whole thing. It's great, man. But we've turned it into just a spectacle. I mean, the wedding industrial complex, man, it's a trillion dollar industry. It's insane. It's insane. And again, catastrophically fails more than 50% of the time.
There's actual research showing that higher wedding spending correlates with higher divorce rates, especially when couples go into debt to fund it. But social media has introduced performance pressure into something that was meant to be private. Now it's not just Valentine's Day, it's Valentine's Day for the timeline, birthdays for the timeline, anniversaries for the timeline, Christmas for the timeline. And every year, that pressure escalates. Bigger gifts, bigger surprises, bigger displays. And if that escalation doesn't happen, people start questioning whether they love or whether the relationship isn't doing good enough. The most stable marriages, they're usually boring. They're predictable, they steady, they private. That doesn't mean that there aren't gifts. It means spectacle isn't the foundation. Marriage isn't loud, it's repetitive, it's discipline, it's alignment. When a relationship becomes dependent on public validation, it becomes fragile under private stress. And I personally know people who went into debt for massive weddings. They got divorced and were still making payments years later. Imagine sending monthly payments for a wedding with someone you no longer married. If the wedding is the peak of the relationship, the marriage will feel like a downgrade. Don't confuse visibility with value, and don't confuse spectacle with stability.
JR, real quick, found some information for y'all. Animals get their water from prey. Most animals' bodies are made up of 60 to 75% water. When a predator eats prey, a large portion of their water becomes available through blood, tissue, and organs. For example, lions get a significant portion of their water from prey like zebras and antelopes. Some animals rely on prey almost entirely. For example, wildcats, desert carnivores, and some reptiles. But,
so you know what's crazy though? You know how you just read that? That nigga is also reading this shit from Chat GPT. Because that doesn't even look like he sounds like he talks like this. Like, and I can give you the prompt that he gives to go and give him something to talk about. What he did, what he does is he takes the link to the original video, has ChatGPT transcribe it, and then says, give me a talking point that I can turn into a 60 to 90 second video that's going to have viral clips in it, viral takes, and viral talking points. And then he puts it up on a computer screen and reads it because there's nobody else in the fucking room.
Wow. So you think he not genuine?
You can see him reading the shit in the video. Just zoom out, make the picture big. You can see his eyes tracking.
I do believe he read that from ChatGPT, but I think that the point they was making was valid. I know people, they're still married, actually, the two people that spent a large amount on their wedding. So they actually spent like 160,000 on the wedding, and then the other one, they didn't make as much, and they spent about 30K, and they were paying for that wedding for several years, like 6-7 years. That whole time I was like, this is nice, but this is pointless. I love you. Like I've been talking to my wife, I'm like, we love each other. We don't need to convince anybody else of that. And we don't be fighting or doing none of that shit. I ain't spend nothing on like I like 10 bands for the ring and then nothing for no ceremony and wedding and all that shit. I didn't go through no big whatchamacallit. And that shit been getting copacetic. What I have found though, I do agree, it's performative, and it should be, you know, if you want to be somebody that celebrates it, that's good and that's fine. But if your focal point is on the wedding and not so much the relationship, that can pose a problem. And judging your relationship status or quality of your relationship by how much money you're willing to spend is similar to judging a relationship by how much you post online to show other people that you love each other and y'all together. Like I don't post no relationship stuff online, but if you look through like our text thread, I'm getting an update of everything that's happening with the kids all day. It's back and forth between each other. It's personal, right? It's not supposed to be, let me put my relationship on blast for the world to see how great it is. I know it's great. You know it's great. We good. Seeking outside validation is the same as seeking outside advice, right? Like, why are you basing what you do with me off what somebody else tell you? It's kind of how I set the relationship up. We'll discuss this amongst us, and we'll do this amongst us, and we'll have a circle of privacy and trust amongst us. We don't really need to include anybody else in this shit, you know. And if it ever got to a point where it was bad, and maybe then, but yeah, if it's going good, why mess that up by introducing outside factors that could have all type of other motives? And now we fighting against the unhappiness of the world and all this other shit. That was always my perspective, but you know, that's just how I viewed it.
I'm probably bag whenever I get engaged. You know, that's, you know, sooner than later. So I guess I have that going against me, but the making of the spectacle shit, that's not my thing. And the reason why I think a guy should, you know, invest, because like the ring isn't really for the woman. It's to let, I'm saying, her family and friends know. It's for like all the niggas that are gonna try to, that would try to talk to her and then be like, oh shit, no. Because whoever that woman has loves her. Because look how big that fucking diamond is. It's for her nosy ass aunties and uncles, her messy ass girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? There's all the bitches in her circle. I'm saying as long, so if she likes it, you get her style, but the size and like all that flash and shit is for everybody else. But paying, you know, paying a bunch of money for a wedding is probably the biggest waste of money ever, because you don't get any of that shit back. And 50% of the time, you try to forget the memories anyway. And then if you a woman who does want to make it a spectacle, like, oh, look at me, or look at, you know, and it's more so about that than it is about, you know, sharing that special moment with her family and friends. I could see why that would be a red flag for him. But we literally can't argue with one of the most prolific divorce attorneys in America when he's telling us this stuff, because this is his profession. So if anybody knows, it will be him.
I'll say this. I think this is one of those situations where correlation is not necessarily causation. Yeah, I don't think it's direct. I'm not trying to refute the data, but I think that there's more nuance than that. I don't think it's necessarily the amount, because shit, there's too many examples of how that doesn't always happen. Now, the part about people doing it to be performative, I think that will be a failure. I think that if people are going into debt to have it, then that's probably going to lead to failure, just because they're likely poor decision makers. And if you're poor decision makers, that's just going to open you up to a multitude of issues. But I don't think it's because you could spend a lot, but you could save up front and not have any debt for that. You could just plan it. And a lot of people, other cultures don't have that same issue, and a lot of times they spend a boatload of money, right? In the U.S. may be different, but outside, people enjoy the festivities, right? Sometimes there'll be people coming in from 10 different countries, and there's a lot going on, and it does cost to feed all those damn people. When you're talking about like at least $80 a plate, that's just what it is. And a lot of people want their entire family involved. It's not necessarily always, oh, well, I need to look like this. I need to. It'd be that reception that kick your ass because you got to feed all them damn people and how much they charge per head. Fuck if you want to have it on a Saturday, it's over. So just when you're planning it, sometimes you want people to be included, and then this friend got that friend, and then your mother got like 5 friends that they wanted to come through, and you'll watch that price escalate really quickly. So it's not necessarily that. You have to do it within your means. You have to pick a venue within your means, and you have to plan. So I'll just say that part of it, where if you go into debt for it, yeah, you're probably one of those guys that's gonna be screwed. But if you planned it out, you took your time with it, then it's not necessarily going to be a direct effect because of the amount of bread you spent. I can't see how that would make sense. I think people who are irresponsible with the way they spend it, yes.
So,
go ahead, Aaron.
Let me ask you this: do you think, going back to the hyena thing, do you think a good litmus test would be to find out, money no object, what kind of wedding a woman would want? And if she says something that's over the top or it takes a great deal of effort for her to plan and puts her in the center of attention of tons of people, you don't think that it's a litmus test to, tell you that's a hyena?
Right. So again, the point that I was making, if you're trying to just make a spectacle, that's one thing. But if you wanted to have something in a nice place and have as much as your family to witness it as possible and fellowship and enjoy the festivities together, that's a different topic.
I would
Well,
say,
yeah, if you're going to stay at the Royal Mansion in Dubai, I mean,
Yeah,
$100,000
if you're trying to do
for
that,
like
you're
2 people.
bugging. You're bugging at that point. Yeah, if you don't have that type of bread, then you're bugging. That's
right.
Probably the type of people who would fail in the first place, right? People who have that type of thought process, for sure, they'll fail.
Exactly.
I think the litmus test would be: would you rather have a $50,000 wedding or a $50,000 honeymoon? I think that would be the litmus test, because then you let her know. That'll tell you which one. Does she want to be the spectacle, or does she want the memory? Or she want the memories where she's the center of attention, or does she want the memories where it's with you and her
shared,
like,
right?
The memory. So
exactly.
I think a good for me, right? I think part of it, which is a good tell, is like who wants the big wedding and who wants those things. Like I know for me, it's typically me who want the shit, like the big spectacle type stuff, because of kind of how I like come behind my woman. So she not the one who be wanting, or I'll be wanting, like, I'll be like, yo, I want to take you here. Or like I couldn't, back a while ago, I couldn't afford the ring that I got her, right? But we wouldn't have got married until I got it. We not, because I want you to have this particular ring, right? But it's not her, it's more so me. They're like, yo, when we get married, I want you to have this particular dress. I want you to look beautiful. I want you to look like this. So it's more so me who want to do those things and who want to, like, versus her.
If you only got 50,000, Willie, I'm gonna give you some options. Tell me which ones you think would be ideal. Would you rather have a $50,000 tax? The woman, I'm saying. Would you rather have a $50,000 wedding, a $50,000 honeymoon, $50,000 towards a building, or pay $50,000 so when the kids is born?
And why, you know the answer to this?
Hold on. Or pay $50,000 so you could stay at home and be there with the kids and still make whatever payments needed to be made, but you wouldn't have to work for 2 years or a year and a half, so you can spend that time with the kids. Could you rank those in order of what you think a good wife would pick?
Rank them in order?
Yeah.
Shit, nigga, 3, 4, 2, 1. That's easy.
Oh, yeah, all right. All right. Yeah.
If I tell my girl, like, okay, my girl picks the building, I'm probably going to impregnate her that night. If she says she wants to stay at home, she may take a week or two to get impregnated. She says the honeymoon, she probably get impregnated on a honeymoon. But if she says the spectacle, it should have happened when it happens. So yeah,
I think to edit that 3, 4, 2. Anybody interested in one? I'm not marrying you.
I think going back to the hyena thing, if she is not interested in protecting your pockets, that is a serious red flag for that. Even if you know that you can afford it, if she doesn't, question to say like, hey, do we really need all of that? Like that means something. You probably absolutely can afford that, and it's not going to be a big deal. But if it doesn't strike her to say, hey, do we really need to do this? I mean, because if she wants to protect your pockets and she doesn't necessarily have to, that's a huge, huge deal. But if she's like okay with just letting all the money just flow without a thought, it's a wrap.
Ain't nothing like having a woman who doesn't try to spend your money. Oh my God. Listen, that is
That means she like you. If a woman think about your money like it's hers, she like you.
Oh my God.
Just like not asking, like just doesn't ask for just unnecessary. When I tell you, if I had known now what I knew then, bruh, a woman that don't just like it's not in your pocket, it's constantly trying to burn shit down. It's not always like, oh, you can afford it. Don't worry about it. Oh, you got it. That's like to have a woman who doesn't think that way or have that mindset about your money, especially when she's aware of nigga.
Yeah, 100%. She definitely should prioritize value.
Must recommend.
But I don't fully agree though about the point of like if you got it and she want to have a big wedding, I don't necessarily think that it's it got to be a red flag. If y'all got it. I'm talking. Nah,
that's still a red flag.
I wouldn't think it'd be a red flag if she wanted to have a big wedding and was willing to not have one because we didn't have it.
Oh yeah.
Anybody, a woman's imagination tends to be as big, is only restrained or defined by her husband's pockets or her checkbook, especially when it comes to a wedding. So, if my girl comes to me and says, all right, we talk about our wedding, and she says, I think, a $25,000 budget, we get it done. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Big Aaron, you don't agree with flexing at all, or just like when it comes to the wedding?
No. With this thing, with the wedding piece, what it costs, even if it doesn't cost more than a drop in the bucket, relatively speaking, financially, right? It's still going to cost her a lot of time, energy, and effort to put it together. And if you're willing to sacrifice that kind of time, energy, and effort to ultimately be the center of attention, you want to spend 6 months to a year of your life being essentially a bridezilla. If it's in your psychology to even pursue that, then that tells me about you and your interests and your proclivities. I can't live with that.
Yeah. Well, I imagine that if you guys had those type of pockets, that she would just have somebody pretty much showing her things like, hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do this, and she's just like, wow, that's amazing, yeah, great, yeah, I would love that, and like, kind of like you look a realtor showing you a
wedding planner.
Yeah, right. Same story though. How long does it take for a realtor to show you a house or an automobile broker to show you a car? It doesn't take 6 months to a year of your life. Like it becomes
a realtor though. I don't know. It can take, depending on how picky you is in the market.
No. 2 months to buy a house.
No, I like that.
If you know where you want to live, and you know what your budget is, if your realtors are worth their salt, if they're worth the commission, they can find you something. You should be looking at 3 houses, 4 houses a week, if they're any good. You can't get it done in 2 months. You know how many houses that is?
Well, you more experienced than me.
He said 2 months. I'm a fan of a 10-day close. So
right. Yeah. Definitely. Once you pin down a house, we're out of here.
I'm not trying to do that 30 day
work. Yeah. I'm just talking about securing the
shopping around.
Just getting something under contract.
Yeah, I'm not I don't have an issue with a woman, spending money for a wedding. It's just like the why behind it. Like
that's it.
I would be more inclined to spend a bunch of money on a wedding because, like, knowing my woman had never had one before. So, I think that every woman as a little girl has like their ideal wedding in their head from all the fucking Disney movies and all the Tyler Perry movies and all of these, you know what I'm saying, rom-coms and shit they've seen. They've been inundated with weddings in their entire life and by their entertainment. So I can't help but to see her. I mean, she can't help but to have like an idea what it is. So for me, it wouldn't be about what I'm spending. It'll be about like me making that dream come true for her. And to make my woman's dreams come true, that's worth all the money in the world. So I don't have to with it from that standpoint though. But
And
if
you got to
you
consider
title
it's
to
somebody who you're trying to make a wife, right? This is somebody who you've chosen out of all the ones to spend the rest of your life with. So you're going to look at them like it's not like you just getting a random woman. After this point, you should have done all your vetting before you made that decision that you wanted to marry her. There shouldn't even be any questions at that point. Otherwise, you've made a mistake.
100%.
You know what I think a large, extravagant, performative wedding would be appropriate? Like your silver or golden anniversary. When we at 50 years and we old and we got the family, then we gonna go down the aisle. You know what I mean? We're gonna get we all go listen. Because now you've earned it. Now we have something to celebrate. Now you wanna if you want to be performative and show off for people, you gotta have something to show for it. And if we're showing off this wedding, we got 50 years in the bank to show for it. There's a reason. It becomes aspirational.
Yeah,
Right?
no, I can agree with you on that, Big Aaron. Because so the thought process behind celebrating or redoing something, you achieve something. Y'all, it's not about it's not about the party. It's not about impressing the people. It's about celebrating what you've done. Everything that you had to get to this point. 50 years, you probably got kids, maybe have some grandkids, all type of stuff going on, and you looking at your family line and saying, I want to celebrate this. I don't know. I just view the like, why is it, what is to celebrate about me and this person being in love that wasn't to celebrate every single day just between us? Why do I need to call my fourth cousin and let them see me kiss and eat a piece of cake? It just didn't make that much sense to me. My wife kind of thought the same way. She was like, I really don't care about that shit. I was like, yeah. What you think about a ring? She's like, yeah, we get one. I'm like, all right, come on, let's go. You know what I'm saying? But after every day with these kids, every day just being in the house and enjoying and growing old and getting gray hairs together and losing just everything, you know what I'm saying? I think that is something to celebrate because it's a testament to perseverance, a testament to just a life's journey, a testament to a whole lot of stuff. But I don't know. I don't the sweet 16s and some of that stuff just seemed like it's not for you. It's like trying to impress somebody else. And I'm not really big on trying to convince other people that, you know, so I could fall victim to it, but it's not like the main thing that I normally think about. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel bad. Like we was talking about something before we came online, and I was saying like I feel like I hope for even thinking this way. Remember I was saying Trey, where I was like, man, they wasn't honoring it like this, but at the same time, I feel like this weak of me to. So I think I universally apply that thought process, where it's like publicity and promotion. Like a wedding kind of feel like promotion versus people looking at you and saying, damn, y'all did that for 50 years. That's publicity.
When you become a corporate exec, which one's a bigger party? Onboarding or your retirement party? Onboarding is a hoagie tray. Your retirement party is shrimp cocktail, lobster, and prime rib.
Exactly. Right. You ain't done shit yet. You haven't shown up to work.
You haven't done a thing. It's onboarding. Yeah. It's an event in time to signify the initiation of your journey together. Get something done. Put some work in, and we'll celebrate that.
Initially, when y'all like before this whole divorce thing and all that, like when you would expect people to spend the rest of their lives together and the union of two families and everything, do you feel like when it meant more that the festivities would be justified then?
Like if it was like on some farm and stuff, or like in medieval times, or when you was literally joining families together, like to form a clan to go fight against another group of people you talking about, or like what time period are you speaking of?
Before divorces and all that shit, but when it was expected that "to death do you part" meant something.
It's still the same. I think maybe it would have been a little bit bigger because it meant more for two families to join. You're combining resources, you're combining, familial support, all that kind of thing. So yeah, I want your family to get to know my family. So whoever's got the biggest farm or the biggest house between the two families, it's gonna look like a family reunion. Everybody's gonna meet up there. Everybody bring a dish. I mean, this guy's a farmer. He brings the cows. This guy's another farmer. He brought the produce. You know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of musicians in the family, all that. Uncle Joe over there, he's a distiller. He's gonna bring the booze. And we're gonna do it that way because families need to get together and to subsist and survive. But to make it grandiose and all this wedding planning and high-end photographers and fleets of Rolls Royces, no. Between monarchs, yeah, sure, absolutely. But again, that's because you're joining countries.
Right. So yeah. What is the purpose of renting a car that you don't drive regularly? Pretend like, I don't know, it just seemed like a costume party for adults kind of.
It's exactly what it is.
Like I don't know.
And
I ain't knocking nobody who do it. I'm just saying this was my thought process on it. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe it's and that's I don't know because I probably wouldn't do it, but maybe it's a day of luxury for them. So maybe it's their first time experiencing that, and they like, yo, I want to experience a Rolls Royce today since it's our day. I want to be driven around in this. I want to, maybe I don't know,
but this is where it goes back to it being extremely selfish because to rent a Rolls Royce is like between $2,500 to $5,000, depending. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's about $1,750 a day
for the Ghost. The big one, yeah, you're gonna be over $2,000 plus.
During wedding season, the price is gonna change. They might require you that.
$1,750 a day,
but
though.
regardless of the price, what I'm saying is you didn't have
like. I mean, if the lease is like $6,000-7,000, why?
You didn't look, hold on before we go into this tangent. Before we go into this tangent, the point I was trying to make was if you can't afford this thing, right, and you're gonna go in debt in order to experience the thing. And then going further debt to keep experience, you putting yourself kind of behind the 8 ball if you $100,000 in debt for something you did not need, could not afford, and then you got to try and build a foundation on this. If you couldn't afford to get a Rolls Royce every day and you spent all of this money, when you have kids, what you gonna be able to afford? To be $100K in debt without the money to afford that, and then think about creating a family, and then you don't have the money for things they need because you did that. To me, kind of saying, I don't know. It just don't logically.
Terrible foresight.
You know what you do? You know what you do? If you gotta have a Rolls Royce on your first year anniversary, your 1 year anniversary, find a local restaurant that has 1 or 2 Michelin stars, rent a Rolls Royce and go have dinner.
That what you said in White applies to all homeowners and car owners because if you can't afford something, you don't have to finance it.
No. Because
financing was invented for people that couldn't afford what they wanted.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing with the homeowner and car owners. You're actually purchasing something that's within your budget, and you're moving through life with the thing, potentially with the house own it and the car eventually own it. You're using that thing daily because it's your budget item. People don't go finance a $20 million mansion they can't afford it just for one day. And think that that's a good investment or
you also walk away. You also walk away with a asset. You walk away with something that maintains value. Finance a wedding, you're pretty much financing memories, which can't be exchanged for any amount of cash.
And sometimes there are a lot of experiences. I spend money for experiences more so than I will a thing now, because the experience lasts forever. That thing won't.
Yeah, but $100,000.
I'm just saying the logic behind it, but.
You also have significantly more money than most people, right? We're talking.
Took that out of it completely.
Okay, so all right, take the average American can't afford a $400 expense, right?
Thanks.
But has access to credit lines. People are going into debt trying to appease an image or an ideal so that they could post pictures online. They'd be better off asking AI to create them damn pictures and go about their business.
And boy, think
Like-
about it, right? The most poor people on the planet, well, I would say at least in America, right? Most poor people are typically the ones who spend the most money in terms of what they have to spend. Like most poor people, I know poor people who smoke weed, and I'm like, how do you smoke weed? What do you like? You always can buy an eighth. Where do you figure that out at, right? But they going to find money to do it, like go out to the club, do whatever they do. They're going to find the money to do it. So they're going to spend that money on experiences most often.
I also think that if you don't have the money to you shouldn't be going to the club buying bottles too.
I don't
think that that's like I've done that shit, but I think it was a bad stewardship of money, and I wouldn't advise nobody else to do that shit.
You know really shouldn't be buying no goddamn bottle there.
No, we've been at like last time I went out, like, and it was like the New Year's time was like 6,500, 7,500 for the New Year's.
You
Like,
know
that shit
what?
was stupid.
The
It's
best
dumb.
time to be in the car rental game is spring break, prom, and then prom wedding season.
Yeah.
Because then your daily rates go up. So now you come get one of my cars for a wedding, you're not even really driving that motherfucker for real. So you're gonna pay me $17.50 to $25 a day for the Phantom or for the Ghost or for the Cullinan just to take pictures and then drive down the street where everybody look at you and shit. So me as the guy with it, I made $2,500 off of a couple hours worth of work and maybe putting 3 miles on a car. Same thing with prom. These people will rent cars so their kids from the hood can look and feel rich with their Louis Vuitton suits and her Christian Dior dress to go sit in, a $250,000 car and then not even drive it. Like, don't take it nowhere. Just take pictures. Hey, you mind if we stand on the hood? No, nigga, you can't stand on the hood. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Put the top down, take the pictures, and get out of my shit. Like, that shit, people spend a lot of money to look away. 75% of designer purchases, like for designer goods, are made by the middle class. 75%. So the people who can't afford the shit are the main ones buying it. So they say, like, if you can't afford to buy something twice, you really can't afford it. I think that the majority of these people, if that was a rule, if they went into these stores and they said, okay, this bag costs $3,200, but if you only got $6,500, we can't sell it to you. I think they probably go out of business because then 75% of the people buying their stuff wouldn't be able to afford it.
Yeah, real
If
quick.
they had Afterpay or a knockoff, they wouldn't be able to afford that shit.
Listen, that shit is crazy.
Real quick, hear me out, right? Buying bottles might not be the worst investment, and I'll tell you why. Typically, if you had to get that much liquor in shots, you might end up spending the same amount or a little bit more. So if you in a club and you like with your homies and you was enough people that make sense, is you literally just buying the actual bottle. Like if they had how many shots you think is inside of a bottle of Henny?
Well, I mean,
I can tell you about 16 to 17 shots.
A shot is an ounce, right?
Are you saying that it's the same as buying it in the club or buying it in general?
In the club.
Oh, okay, never mind.
How many? So how much is it? How much is like a shot typically? At least where y'all at?
Like $12,
$10.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
Jock said one.
Depends on where you're buying it from. You're buying it from a club, yeah, you could pay 12. But if
And
you
it depends on
multiply
what
it, it
club you
doesn't
at.
equal the $500 that they're gonna charge you for
No,
bottle
bottles
service.
are typically like $200 to $300 for like a bottle of Casamigos or
Where the
something.
hell
like
you
that.
be at?
Hey, so
tax and
there's
tip.
no argument that can be made to spending $350 on something you're gonna piss out and
Hold on.
probably get a drug.
But you also get seats and you get a section also. So you get the liquor, but you also pay. You also get part of that goes. You get the section, so you get to be comfortable all night, and it help you get hoes too. Probably
That's
Right?
what it do. That was the purpose.
Yeah, but them types.
when you think about all of that together, it's about
the hose. What's the ROI on the hose? That's what you because
that's priceless, ain't it?
Negative.
Nah.
Some of
It
them
depends.
motherfuckers
The
can
type
take
of
you
joints
back
that's
down.
attracted to bottles, man, you're gonna lose.
No, the type of joints that's attracted to a section in the club. No, the baddest bitches in the club is going to be attracted to the section.
Yeah, but I mean,
baddest bitches are also a fucking net negative.
Annoying than a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Mark,
the goal is to hit them, and I'm saying this as somebody who's never actually bought a section, but I used to work. I did some work in the club, so I kind of like,
Mark, you ever hear of a place called Strong Box in Philly?
Strong Box?
Strong Box, yeah. It was in Richland Square. You ever hear of it?
About this place called Strong Box.
Yeah, all right. I used to be one of the owners. It was a small lounge and nightclub in right off Rittenhouse Square, about 2020 from Walnut.
I thought it was a brothel.
Smaller scale line. So, right. So let's just throw around some numbers for the sake of argument. $12 for a shot of Grey Goose, right? You get 16 shots in a bottle. You're looking at about $190 that's going to come out of that bottle. When you get table service, you're going to get $300 for the bottle. So you're getting 110 more markup when you put it on the table.
Okay.
So you're losing. I mean, when you buy the bottle, you're paying 33% more than you would if you just did it in shots, and that's just a standard bottle of Grey Goose.
Yeah. Now let's calculate the rest of the ROI, right? So you get a section, right? So you get seats, you get seating. It typically comes with bottles of water, other little small things, right? But the seating, how much is that worth?
One bottle will get you 4 seats for 2 hours.
Okay, so how much do you think that? What do you think the value of that would be for people in the club? Like
for 4 seats
for you to get to sit down and
monetary value 0.
But Aaron, I'm gonna end this whole conversation real quick. Watch this. Just watch this. Hey, Mark. What's the most you ever spent on the experience or a vacation?
Oh God.
Yeah, it's the wrong nigga that question, bro.
I know the answer. That's why I asked.
A lot of money.
No.
I know. Just on my food bill, my bill, like just like off of when you go and then you check out. When I went to the Maldives, it was about 13,000. Just it was 13,000 just for that bill when I left.
And that was for how many days?
I was there for 7 days, 7 nights, or 8,
Yeah,
7
I'm
or
about
8.
to say Maldives at least are 10 racks for the week.
No,
But
that was just the food bill.
Yeah, that's just the everything that's all. Yeah,
13 for the food.
I know the flight was 10,000. The flights was 10,000.
So we had 23K for one. Keep going.
Just for the flights.
What's the lodging?
The lodging. I use my points for the lodging, but I use about like close to 1 million points. What else did I got it? I had to pay for the proposal and stuff like that.
How much was that?
So
in total, what number are we at right now?
We probably close to 40.
So 40K for a week, 6 days.
But it was for a special thing.
It was to get engaged, right?
Yeah.
All right. Damn. So if you listening with ROI, you got to understand the mentality of the ROI you're getting before you listen to the math that I'm about to give you.
I'm just saying.
This is the point I was making.
What was the price tag on the ring?
You said on the ring?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't want to talk about it.
No, if you blew the bag on the ring, that's a reasonable. That's a prudent purchase.
Yeah.
I want to know if the ring was more or less than this trip.
It was more than a trip.
By a factor of what?
We could probably talk about it.
Okay.
I appreciate you guys. Let me get to the super chats real quick. Got a couple of them. Brother Newsby. A member, $5. Thank you. Appreciate you, sir. And official Mama G with the $9.99. Also a member as well. Super sticker. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Y'all enjoy yourselves. Make sure you support everybody on the panel. Check out the Instagram, YouTube, and all that good stuff. Y'all be safe out there. Y'all have a good night. We are out.